Hey everyone, welcome. In the next 3 hours, you will go from zero to fully production ready REST API with Python and Flask. We are using UV, the blazing fast modern package manager, instead of web. Everything is up to date, everything is production grade. By the end, you will have TaskFlow running inside Docker, secured with JWT connected to the PostgreSQL and ready to deploy. So let's see what we are building. So this is TaskFlow app that we are creating API for this one. So we have login page and we have register page here. So you can register using name, email and password. So I already created account. So I will log in using that. So this we will be creating in this crash course. So you can see we have task flow, my task. You can create new task from here. So here you can set the priority low, high, medium. And here you can add a status like pending, in progress, completed or cancelled. So you can save from here. Here we have edited filter. So here you can check this one like completed. We don't have, all it will show total task 2 pending. It also completed. From here you can delete and you can again update using the save task from here. Okay, this will be, we are creating API for this one. So this is Swagger that what API we are creating. You can see we have API with register, login, refresh, me. For task we have task ID like get, put, post, delete. Okay. So these we will be creating using in this course. So first let's go like what is Flask. Flask is micro web framework for Python. Micro means Flask give you essentials, routing, request response, templating, and you choose how to extend. So no forced ORM, no forced admin panel. Okay, so that's it. Minimum you need to create the API in the Python. So we have Flask and we have you heard of Django also. So for Flask we have like our own tools, micro framework, pick our own tools. Okay, but Django is complete, so that will provide everything in built-in. Flask we have minimum boiler plate to start. Okay, so, in Django we have more structure and conventions, and Flask is for REST API and microservices, and Django is great for full stack web apps. Okay, so we will be using in UV in this one. So why UV instead of pip? So this course we will use UV from the same team that built rough. UV replace pip tools, virtual environment, and PY environment in all in one. So it's written in Rust, which makes it 10 to 100 times faster than pip. It creates log file automatically and like package log JSON in Node.js. This means reproducible builds every single time. Okay. So we'll create our project using UV. So let's start with this. So I will be using VS Code here. So I will share the command how you can download or install UV. So I already have installed. So I will use only UV then init. Okay. So you can see the initialized project TaskFlow API. If you giving UV in it, it will create in the current directory. If you give UV in it and directory or project name, it will create that project. Okay. So here by default we create this one. We will get ignore file Python version. Okay, main.py and project this one here. If you add any dependency like we will use plus plus, so we add it will be added here, and this is empty readme file. We have this. Okay, so let's we will add Flask. So we need to run uv add Flask. You can see it's installed. If we and you can see when we installed uv.add Flask, it's created virtual environment automatically, so we don't have to create manually. If you open this py project file, you can see we have a dependency now. Okay, so for this file we rename to app.py. Here we will delete this. So we will start from plus import Flask. Okay, next we will add here app file. Okay, sorry, app file, I think app variable app plus now at the rate app dot route. So when we open this in the home page like directory on this list, so it will call this function. So we'll create, like we'll define function here hello, and we will return hello flash. Okay, so down we have to write here app name equals to name. App dot run, and we need to pass here debug. Okay, so what we are getting syntax error. Okay, this is double equals. So we will save this file. Now here we will come uv run plus run. If I enter this one, so you can see we have it is running on 5000. Okay, if I open this one, okay, so wait, we will change the port because it is using the old one. We run this one. Okay, so we need to change port. So for that, like I will start, and we will add uv add python dot env. So we installed python.env. So if you go to in the py project, you can see we added new dependency here. Here we will create new file dot plus env. Inside this, you will create plus underscore app equals to app.py. Next, plus, sorry, plus underscore debug is equals to 1 plus underscore run underscore port. Okay, so here you can add 5001. So this is I'm adding here because when we create production grade application, we give all the hard coded value in the environment file. Okay, so here we are giving this one. For here it was not showing because I already running the other app, the complete app on the 5000, that I can close and I can see it will show. But I will show you this, like you can create environment file, and if I save this one and if I run again, so we will see what it will show. Okay, sorry, it's app.py. So it is showing 5001 now. Okay, so if I go here, if I run this one, so you can see hello class. So this is our first API. You can see when we open localhost 5001, you will see this hello class. So what we learn here, we completed how you can create your project using EV, how you can add dependency when you run automatically, so you don't have to manually handle or activate the virtual environment here. We created .flask env file. So how this file is reading? So this file we installed, right? python.env, this package python-env. So because of this, Flask itself automatically read data from this Flask env file. So here we are telling like Flask app start from app.py. This is the entry point. Here we are giving Flask debug equals to 1, like debug mode is on. So by default, like in production, you don't have to give Flask debug 1. Okay, so this is only for development, and here we are assigning the port number plus run port 5000. You can change it to anything, any number that you want to run that port available in your system. Okay, so now we will continue with the routing. So routing maps URL to Python function. Like here you can see in the app.py, this is routing, right? This maps to the function, and query string multiple HTTP methods. So this is foundation for every Flask API. So we created here. Next we will create here like app dot route users, and here we'll provide end user underscore ID. Okay, so this route, what it will do, it will call this slash user, and we will pass the user ID, and it will convert it to the end. Okay, and user ID. Next we will define function get underscore user underscore ID. Return, here we will call JSONify, and we return user underscore ID, user underscore ID. Okay, so here we need to import JSONify here. So we created next route user slash, so it will get return user based on the user ID. Okay, so just I'm returning here the user ID that I'm getting. If I run this one, okay, so you will see what we will get here, slash user slash 1. So you can see we are getting user underscore ID and 1. Okay, so this is, you can see we are converting in the end. Next you can create one more here, at the rate app dot route slash user string username. Okay, and here def get underscore by underscore username return username. Okay, so if I run this one, so you can see what it is doing, user, and here we are passing username. Okay, so you can see here I'm passing Amit, so it's calling this route, right? User Amit, and if I am calling using int, it's calling this integer route, right? The route we have only same users, only thing we are changing here integer and a string, right? Next we can, and this is we are passing one argument, you can say one parameter like integer or username ID and username. Next we can have multiple also. Here we define at the rate f dot route we have users and user underscore id. Okay, then again here we have task. Okay, here we have int string, right? And here you can say task underscore id. There we create function get underscore user underscore task, and we have user underscore id and task underscore id. Okay, here we return here user underscore id comma task underscore id and task underscore id. Okay, so we are created here this new function, and in new, right, what it will user id, it will take task and it will take task id, so we are returning based on that user id and task id. Okay, so if I save this one, we are getting url underscore users into user id task. So here we forward this and close this one. Okay, so if I run again, so it will work. Here you can see if I run this one, if I pass user id 1 slash task and task id 5, so you can see task id 5 and user id 1. Okay, and if I use like till here, if I did give task, what will throw, it will throw not found because this url we don't have. But if after that, if we are giving any string, it will also throw error because we are passing to the integer. Okay. So if we give here any integer number, so it will return task ID and user ID. Next, you saw like we created simple route slash, we have slash ID integer slash string multiple. Now you can see we have a multi parameter or multi method. Okay. So what is multi method is, like if I give here app dot route. Okay. I will give here ping, and we need to use new keyword here methods, and we need to use here array, and inside that we need to define method type like get and post and delete. Okay. Now we'll create here def ping, it will return json file method request dot method, then message, and so this is we created. So when we call this ping route using like any get method, post or delete, so we will get the so it will work, right? We have like get, post, delete, and put. Okay, you can check the last video where I explained what is web API. Here you can get the detailed explanation for this, how get, post, and delete works. If I run again, internal server error. Okay, we are using request. Request is not defined, so we need to request. So here you can see by default we call this one. It will be called method get. Okay, so it will use like this. So we use postman. We in postman we can change like uh, delete or post. So it will be said here like method post or delete, and it will return the message. So this is how you can create with multi URL, multiple methods, and normal route. So these are basic routes you can create. You can see example of this one when we create the post get, or no, like getting the task and creating task. That time we'll create that method with multiple. Okay. So there when we include the front end, so we will see that. Now we will see query parameters. Okay. So here I will create again route task get task. Here I will have a status So here I am taking the status from the parameter, and if I will not get a value for status, then I am setting the default value. Default value will be all here. Okay. Now page. Here also same, if we will not get any value, then we will set default value 1, and after that we will convert into the type int. Next, limit request for limit. By default I will set 10, and here also I am converting type to int. Request get sort y or here can sort, and default value is created by. Okay. So these parameters we are reading from the request that we will get. Okay. Next, what I will do, we will return here JSON file, filters, status, and sort bar. Next, we will have page animation. Page, comma, limit. Here we have limit. Next, we will return task, that is empty. Okay. So this we created new route. This will have slash task. Okay. So I will call this one. So we will check this. If I save this and run, first I will call here task. Okay. Internal server error. We will see what happened. Okay, sort by is not defined here. Yeah. So here you can see, if I am calling only task route, we are getting like sort by created by, because the default value we are setting is status all, and pagination limit 10 and page 1. Okay, task we are setting empty. So what happened, if next I will pass here question mark status equals to pending. Okay. So here you can see all value we are getting default, only status we are getting pending. Now like that we can add here using and. We can pass here page also, page equals to, if I say 10. Okay. So here you can see page is 10 and limit is also 10. Similarly you can set limit also here, limit equals to 100. Okay. So the limit is 100, page is 10. Like then we can pass the data to the backend using the query parameters. So this is how you can do. So here you can see we are using slash task route, but after that using question mark we are passing the parameter, and if we are not passing any parameters, so it is taking the default value. that we are passing. Like for status we are setting all, and for sort we are passing the created one, and here for page and limit we are passing 1 and 10. Okay. Next we will see the post, how we will use post. Route, demo, method, post. Okay. Demo, request. So here we will read data equals to request dot get JSON. Here get request dot get JSON, and here we are passing silent true. Okay. So here if we use data shape, then here we will get the error, and if we use request dot get JSON, it will it will be data safe. So okay. So here if we check name equals to request dot form dot get, we will get name. Here we will check auth. This will be for authentication token. Request dot header dot get. So here you can see we are getting get JSON here, and here we are reading from core request dot form. Here you can see the authentication that we are getting from header. Okay, header dot get authorization. This will be C type equals to request dot content type. Okay. Here I will print this, print request dot. We will see like which method we are called. So method type will print here, print request dot method, print request dot URL we will check, like print request dot path, print request dot host, print request dot remote underscore ATD. So it will print the IP address of the remote, like your system, the system that we are calling the API. Okay. Print request dot is JSON. Next we will return JSONify data and data. Okay. Or we can pass this to the as a request. Okay. anything you can print this one, like the data that we are receiving, that we are trying to print. Okay, so I will save this one. So this is the post method. So this I will show you in the postman. Okay, so here localized filing demo, inside body will pass title, description and status. Okay, if I run this one, so the request, you can see description, status and pending, that data that we are returning. Okay, so here you can see that data that we printed using the print request dot method, that is post, and the URL we are calling this one. After, what is the path? Path is the slash demo and the host is localhost, and to print the URL, and this is the IP address, and here is JSON, because we are passing the JSON, so it is true. Okay, and after that it is returning request dot data. So like that you can pass, call the post method, we can pass the JSON. Okay, so it will return the same that we are returning. Next we will see how we can like what we can return from the API. Okay, so first I will create for new row for this one. At the rate app dot route text def text underscore response. Okay, this you already saw in the first the default route that we created. So here we are passing hello Flask. Okay, if I save this one, hello text. Okay, so you can see we are getting the hello text. Now I will copy this only and modify. Okay, so this is for text. Here we return the, here I will change to auto JSON. Okay, JSON from here key paste. Okay, we will pass some value here. Next I will change to the JSON. JSON here. Here we will use JSON file. Okay, message success next victory. So we'll save this one and we'll rerun. Okay. So first we'll call the auto.json. Okay. This is hyphen localhost. Okay. So we'll get the key and value. Okay. If I change this to the, we will get this. So the auto.json is converting automatically in the JSON. You can see we are passing as a dictionary here. Okay. Key value and list. Here we are converting in the JSON. So similarly, you can like use or return tuple and other things also, right? So here we are having course that in the some previous videos I already explained in the Python course. So you can check out like for not for when we are getting errors. So you can see it is returning 404. If it is success, it's returning 200. Okay. So these all are the return type we have. Now we will see like how we do the error handling. Okay. I will app dot error handler. Okay. So here we use the app error handler and here we need to pass the code like what we want to return. So here we can see we saw 404. So I will add 404 only for here. Okay. Not found. We will get the error detail from here. So we will take as a argument here e. Okay. Now I will return JSONify error not found. Okay. Message we use str to convert this one e dot description. Okay. E dot description. Okay. Now we will run this. So we will get to see like what it will print when we pass the URL that is not exist. Okay. So before rerunning, I will show like if I pass here JSON 1. So you are seeing not found. The request URL was not found on the server. If you enter the URL menu, please check your spelling and try again. Okay. But now what I will do, I will rerun this one and refresh this page. So you can see we are getting error from that we are returning from server. Okay. The proper error message like error not found message the request URL was not found on the server. Okay. It was printing this message directly on the UI. Now we are sending as a JSON. So this is how you can use return type. You can send any return type here. Automatically it will convert. How you can use the query parameter to fetch the data. Okay. So this is how you can create the basics API. Okay, you already saw what we created: get, post, delete. Okay, delete also can clear call similarly. How you can pass parameter to the API in the post. How you can get using query parameter. What we can return from the server. Okay. Next, we will see the Ginger tool like the static files. how we can pass the template and how we can return that. So we'll continue this one. Jinja 2 is fast, expressive, and extensive template engine for Python. So we will use that. So we'll continue Jinja 2. So I already have written code for that. So I will use that. So I added here static page. Here I have CSS. JS you can ignore this. It's just empty. Okay. Here here we have templates. Okay. So inside templates I have task and base HTML, index HTML, inside task list HTML, and index.html. So first we will check the base HTML. Okay. So here this is our HTML file. Okay. So what we are doing, we are using our data from Python to render here. So you can see we are using curly braces percent block title percent tensorflow. Okay, and it is saying the block end from here. This is title block and this is the title we are passing and this is the end block. Next, here we are using URL for static. This is file name css style.css. This file we are importing from our static folder, this css. Okay, style.css. So this is having some css. Next, here you can see curly with percent block extra css plus this is end block. So we are end blocking. Here same URL for index home. Here percentage with message get flashed message with category true. Okay, and if messages then it will show for category message in messages. So what it is saying, so here we are taking using this method, we are getting the messages and here we are checking if message is there, then it will call this one inside for loop. This is our for loop in the Jinja 2. Percentage curly percent 4. It will taking category and message from message. Okay, messages. So here after that we are getting here messages. So here we are creating message, here we are printing message. Okay, and we are alert we are here adding category. Okay, this is we are appending in the class name. So we are here, you can see the 4 is starting. Here we need to write end 4 and here and if and end with this one. Okay, so this is our message that we are getting, and here we are having inside main block main content and end blocks. Here we are not adding, this is just empty. Okay, this is our base HTML. So this is, you can see we have HTML body tag here. Okay, and head here. Next, if we go in the index.html, so you can see it is showing welcome, or this is variables how we can get from variables. You can see we have double curly braces user.name. So this user.name will be getting from Python. Okay. Next, it is checking if user.role equals to admin, then it will add the admin there. If it is not, then it will show the user. Next, it is again iterating for task in task percentage. So we will getting task and each it is we are getting each task from the task list. Okay. So here we have loop index and task dot title. So if task dot done, then it will show this, else it will show like pending this icon. Okay. Yeah, this. If it is done, it's completed, then it will show. So you can see this is for it is starting from here, percentage for task in task. This part is same like in Python, only we have curly braces percentage. Okay, and here we have for again percentage and curly braces close. So this is we are rendering in the our list. Next we have some filters in this built-in filters. You can see we have user.name. We need to use pipe here, and it will upper, then it will convert in the name in the uppercase. Here it will show the length and none. It will show any, and we have L word. It will is like title. Okay. So what it is doing title? See, you can see we have a small h and a small w. So for title, it will just convert capital in the each word. So this is our index.html and this is our base.html. Next, if we go in the list.html, so you can see curly braces percentage extends. So what it's doing? It is extending our base template. Okay, this base.html inside list.html. Okay, same here. This is block. So task list, task flow, and block. So this is for block we are using. Next, we have block content. Inside block content, we have heading my task s2. And we are iterating here task, and we are task dot title we are printing. So percentage for percentage. So this is our code for HTML that template that how we can use. So you can check here like the for loop we are using. This is same. So you can see we are mentioning this is our block content. Here the block content is end. Here we are for is starting for loop. So here the end for we have to write. Okay. So these are our three HTML files. List HTML, base HTML, index.html. Now how we can use these in the Python code. Okay. So I will go to the app.py. So here we have home route here, and we are defining index. We are having here list task. Inside that we having two tasks with title learn UV and build Flask it done. Okay, true and false. So done true false, it is saying like it is completed or not. Okay, so this one is completed, this one is not completed. We have username Amit, role admin. Okay, if I add here this, first I will run this, I will change later. So render, we need to use render underscore template. So you can see from Flask we are importing Flask and render template. Okay, now next method, next route we have task. So from here it is rendering same task list task, and here we are rendering template task list, and here we are passing task equals to task this. Okay, this list, and here we are passing task equals task and user equals to user. So this is for render template index.html. Okay, so if you go in the inside index.html, you can see we are accessing user, and here we are using task. Okay. Similarly, if we go to the in the list Python index, here we are using task list HTML. So if you go inside list HTML, okay, so here we are using task. Okay, task dot title. So we are passing here task. So if I run this again, so you can see it is coming as like this, the HTML page. We have heading my test. You can see this is completed, right? Complete is done. So it is showing like, so it is showing like the, like it is done. So next we have build fast API, Flask API. This is not completed, so it is showing the normal. So this is we are showing list for this. The CSS I already showed. This is inside index style.css file. Next, if we go to the normal route, home route, you can click on this one. For this, you can see we have welcome Amit, admin. It is showing like it is admin user. If you go first, learn new, it is completed, so it will show this icon field is in pending. Next, it is showing the name to the length and none and hello world. So this is coming from this index.html. Here we are adding these filters. So the I made the length 2 and the task we are showing this one and a default. These are coming from here, and the list that it is completed for task or not. This is coming from this for loop. Okay. Now if I go here, so if I change this admin to user, okay, and if I refresh this one, so you can see it's coming user as a user, not a admin. So this is how we use Jinja 2 in our project. Okay, so if you have any doubt, you can ask in the comment section for this one. Now we will continue our project. Before we continue our project structure, we will add Docker in our project. So for that, we need to create Docker file. Docker file. Okay. So now we need to fetch from, we need to fetch Python 3.10 slim. Okay. After that, we need to copy from yes, we are copying our UV binary. Okay. After that, we need to create work directory /app. Now we need to copy our code. Copy. Now we copy it. Now we need to run UV sync. Okay. Now we need to add command UV run comma slash comma run. Okay. Next we need to add open host comma port 5001. We will stop our server. Now we will run docker build -t TaskFlow API dot. Okay. So it is saying invalid TaskFlow repository name must be lowercase. Okay. So with this change to TaskFlow API. Okay. So the build is successful. Now we need to run docker run -p docker run -p 5001 TaskFlow API. Okay. So you can see our this system is running on the 5001. Okay. So if I refresh this page, you can see it's still running. Okay. So now what we have to build? Our project is already running in localhost 5000, right? So we need to build this one. So we have login page here, and when we click on create one, so we have registration page. Okay. So we'll start our project now. So first we will create our app folder. Okay. App. Okay. And here outside we have app.py, right? So we need to change, we will change this to run.py. Okay. Currently I just creating files and folders. After that we will start. Okay. So inside app we need to create our config file. Okay. So here I will create config.py. Okay. So this is currently empty. Here we need to create one more file called extensions. Okay. extn. And here we will create our init.py. So we'll open config.py here. So we need to add a config file here. So I will, okay. So here what we are doing, we are importing import OS from datetime, importing time delta. Okay. So here we have class config. Here we have here secret key, GW2 secret key. So we are taking these variable inside this class config. Now we have different configs for like development config, production config, and test config. So we are here assigning like development, production, testing, and default is development config. So when we run, so by default it will take that development config. So what we are doing here, we are setting all the data here like open Swagger UI path, OpenAI Swagger URL. Okay. So these we are passing here JW2 in development config. It will take the config and debug true because we need to set debug mode true when we are in development, right? So we have here SQL Alchemy database URL os.environment.get database URL, or it will get from env file. If it is not there, then by default it will read this, create the SQLite DB file TaskFlow. Okay. Similarly, we have one for production also. So here we have debug mode false. So in production we keep debug false. Same we have data URL for this one. So for production we must set the database URL. Okay. So this is our config file. Now we'll go to our extension file. So in extension file, we have this. So we have app/extension, this one. So from Flask SQL Alchemy, we have SQL Alchemy plus migrate. So from these we are importing like GWT manager, cost, Bycrypt API from Flask. Okay. So we are creating DB migrate JWT cost or Bycrypt API. So these are our extensions, and this is our config file. Okay. Now so our config and extension file we edited. Now we add our init.py. So inside that, what it will we will do in, we are creating the create app, and okay. So we have config name. By default we are using default. Okay. So when we have default config, so which one it will use default config, this one. Okay. And if we pass like production, then it will use that one. So what it is doing, we are creating here. So we are imported Flask import Flask dot config. We are importing config here. Okay. So we are app equals to Flask name. app.config dot from object config, okay, config name. So we are loading here configuration. If we go in here configuration, so this is inside config, okay. So from config, we are passing config name default, so it will reading this one. After that, we are doing db.init app migrate app jw2. So okay, here we have resource API from .auth route. So this we don't have currently. So this is for registration. This we will add later. Okay. So currently we have only these things. Okay, so I will comment this. We have at the rate app.route health. Okay, status okay. So it will do app.cli command cdb. Okay, app cdb. We have import click import from dot models. Okay, so these are for our cdb, and this one also will comment for now. Okay, so we have return app. Yes, so we have this much, like we have create app. So what it will do, it will create our app using these configurations. Okay, it still depend the config name, which config we are using. So default is the development. Okay, so this will be check later. This is for registration. Okay, so I will save this one. Now we will go to the our run.py. Okay, so this is our old code, so we will delete this one. So this is our run.py import os from app, import create app request to create app os environment dot get plus development. Okay, if underscore name equals to this. So we'll save this one. Okay, so we'll stop our server and we will see it will work or we are getting will get any error. So we will do build hyper. Now we will run. Okay, we are getting could not import app. Okay, so this is we are okay. So we need to check why this is. So we have app. Okay, so this is created inside the template. This we need to create outside the template. Okay, so we have here. So this is outside the. Now we are getting different error. Fail to find Flask application or factory in module app. Use app name to specify once. Okay. So we'll check why this is coming. So it's checking factory in module app. Okay. So we'll go. So here we are using app.py in the Flask app. Here we need to use run.py. Okay. Why? Because we changed this our app.py to run.py. Okay. We will do again. Okay, we are getting cannot import create app from the app. Okay, so we'll see why this is happening. We'll go here inside config, sorry, inside init, we have create. Okay, so we are getting create app from app cannot import. Okay, yeah, so you can see here we are using init.py. Okay, so this should be underscore underscore init. Okay, so this I renamed, so it should work now. And here we need to import, we need to install packages also, right? We are using SQL Alchemy and other packages. So before running again, I will install those also. So we need to run UV8. We are using Flask SQL Alchemy, migrate JW2. Okay. Yeah. So we edited this. Now we'll run again. I think this is fixed. There should be not any issue now. It should work properly. Okay. Yeah, the server is running. So see what we will get when we run refresh this page. So we are getting code 404 status not found because we are not handled the home route. Okay. Now here we use help. So you can see API TaskFlow. Okay, API status. Okay, and version 1.00. Why we are getting this? Because we handled only this case in the creator. So if we go inside, if we come here down, so you can see app route slash health. Okay, if we change this to this one, okay, I think we need to build again. Without build it will not work. Yeah. So I build, but I will run here. UV run plus run. Okay. If I run this one, so you'll get not found here for this one. If we run this one, so we'll get this one. Okay. So this is a directly running without Docker. Okay. So I think we need to configure Docker to detect the changes. And I will see it's detecting this one or not. Okay, this is also not detecting. Okay, so I think we need to check why this is not running. Okay, here should, I think it should run. So we'll check our debug mode. Debug. Yeah, this is 2, then we'll run again, we will run +1. Okay, if we run again, we are getting not found. Okay, so if I change this one, create init. Okay, yeah, the change detected, and if I refresh, okay, so this is working. For Docker also we can try. Okay, so I will do this one here. I have this command here. We are passing pwd:/app TaskFlow. Okay, so we run this one. Okay, here we are getting some error. For now, we will use this local run only. Okay, so it will detect changes. So it will save us time to each time we have to stop and build again. Okay, so this I change back to health. Okay, so when we run this one, so we get health on the health. So our first health API is finished. Okay, so we'll continue with the next part. So our basic architecture is completed. We added config and extension, and we are added run.py. Now we will add the model. Okay, so inside app we need to database connection, right? So we'll create database model first. So we add new folder here, models. Inside that we'll create our empty file underscore init.py. Okay, underscore .py. So which model we needed here to add, right? So we have first what we are creating, TaskFlow API. So we need task, okay, and what we need? We need users for login. Okay, so first we will create user, okay, user.py, and next we will create task.py. Okay, so we created both file user.py and task.py. Now what we have to do, we will add the first user data. Okay, so we added here user data. Same we have from date time, we are importing date time and time zone. App.extension we are importing db and bytecode. So we are creating user class. Okay, class user db.model. Why we are passing db.model? Because this is our db class, so it will create the table based on this one. So we need id, username, email, password hash, and role. Okay, so here we are using db.columns. So what we are passing here, db.integer and primary key true. So these we already saw the previously, like we can add column or these things. Okay, so just to see what we are creating, table with the, and we are passing the table name users. Okay, so it will have id column, username, email. So here you can see the username and email is unique and nullable false, like it cannot be null. Okay, and this is role, by default is the user. Next we have create underscore add. So what it is doing, it is taking db.datetime, like when this is created. Okay, next we have updated underscore add, so the time zone that we are when this is last updated. Okay, so here we have task equals to db.relationship task. Okay, here user and cascade all, delete operate, set password. So we need functions, right, to check set password, and you can see the check password here. So what it will do, self password, it will take password, and what it will do, it will use bytecrypt.generate hash of this password. So we will pass this one, and we UTF-8, so it will do self.password hash. You can see we are not storing the user entered password. What we are doing, we are converting this into the hash. Next we have check password. So like when login, how we can check the password. So again, the password we are getting, that we need to convert in the, or you can directly check the function check password underscore hash. So it will internally convert this password, and it will in the hash, and it will match with this one. Okay, so it will return true or false based on this one. Okay, so we have some this one to depth self and this function, so here it will just return the data. Okay, so this is our user.py. Similarly, we will add our task.py here. Okay, so this is our task.py. We have same thing here, like we are importing db, we are importing datetime, time zone, app.extension. So here we are creating the task class. Here we have table name task. So inside that, what will we have? We have id, title, description, status. Status, what is? Like it's completed, it is pending. Okay, and here you can see the id, we have primary key, db.integer. Yeah, due date, created date, updated. These are all same. Only thing that the name is like changed. So we have a string and text for this one. The priority integer we are storing, and we have completed underscore at, like when we are completing the task. So foreign key, so we in the user she saw we were using the task. Here we are user underscore id db column db integer. So this we are using foreign key from users.id, like which task is connected to which user, right? So we have user db relation user back populate to task. Here we have do the next function. What it is doing, it is returning the dictionary of the data that we are storing. So when we fetch data, we use this one. So you can see we have self.id, self.title, right? So this is our task.py. So this is just the same like users.py. If you have any question till here, you can ask. Okay. So this is just a simple. We are creating the models, database models. We are need to extend db.model for that. So it will automatically create the tables for that based on this one. So you can see we have task here, table name. Here we use the users. Now we have init.py. Okay. So we'll add code for this one. So here the added users and task imported from the users and task.py, and we are adding here in the init.py. So this will be used with the other modules. Okay. So we created our models and we created our architecture basic. So we created models folder here. Next we will create schemas. Okay. So you will see it is still working or throwing any error. Yeah, it's still working. So now we will create schemas inside the app. See here. Okay. Inside that we need to create same file like underscore init underscore dot py. Okay. Next we need to create user and task. Like we have two models. We need to create user.py and task.py. Okay. So we need to create this schema. So first we will create task. Okay. So we have this here from Marshmallow. We are importing schema, fields, validate, validates, and validation error. Okay. So we have task schema here. We created. So we are extended schema. So we created ID. So it will check fields dot int dump underscore only true. Okay. Field str load true. So we have some validation dump default true. Okay. Due date user id. Okay, and created it. So we have validates here for status. So what it will do, it will check the validation for status field. Okay, so what we are allowing for validation, when we only allowed pending, in progress, completed, and cancelled. Okay, inside that only we have these four values. Okay, if it is not allowed, so it will throw error, must be one of allowed. Okay, next we have task update schema. Okay, sorry, we have next task update schema. So it's still it is schema. Okay, So here we are having validation also, like minimum 1, maximum 12 for title character, okay, description, status, and priority. Okay, so it will have minimum 1 and maximum value 3. So we are setting priority only for 3. Okay, low, medium, high, due date. So this is our schema for task. Okay, so now we will start take with the users. Okay, so here we have user registration schema, and for here we need to create user login schema also and user schema. So what it is doing for registration, we are using username. This is required true. Okay, and minimum character 3 and maximum is 80. Email field dot email required true. Okay, password also required true, and the minimum length is the 8. Confirm password, this is also required, right? So we have validate schema. So what we are will do, it will do check password match. For what? It will take data dot get password and data dot get confirm password. Both the password is not equals, right? So then it will throw error password don't match. Okay, and it will return the confirm password. Next we have user login. So email and password both are required, so it is true, right? And user schema, id, username, email, role, and created it. Okay, so this is when we access, it will return only these. So you can see the password is not returning because we never return a password. We only get the password and we'll use that to match. So you can see the response schema never expose password as. Okay, so these our task and user schema is done. Now we'll go to the init.py. Yeah, so this for init.py, this we will keep for empty for now. So next we created a schema, we created database models. Okay, next we will start with the API routes. Okay, so for route, which routes we needed, right? We needed auth route, so for that we'll create auth folder here. Okay, this will minimize auth. Okay, inside that routes.py. Okay, we'll add routes.py. So here we will define our route. Okay, so these are our routes here we added. Okay, so before I explain this, we need to create here our underscore init underscore dot py. Okay, so what routes we are added inside all. So we this you can see Flask view method blueprint effort. These we are importing from this Flask. Okay, so we have db, we need to import db, we need to import users. Okay, so app dot schema dot user schema, or the file name is we are using is user, or in the schema import user registration schema. So we will change this also. Okay, here in the schema. Okay, and for task also we will change schema. So this should be fine now. Okay, so we have user schema. From user schema, what we are importing, we are importing user registration schema and login schema and user schema. This is fetching the data, this is for registering the data, and this is for login. Okay, so if you come to the here inside users, we have user registration and we have user login and user schema. Okay, these three we have. So all three we are importing in the auth. So we are creating here auth blueprint auth. Okay, prefix we need to add inside API/auth. Okay, so when we call any URL, for each prefix we will use this one, user authentication and registration. What is the description? We are registering and authentic. So we have auth, this decorator we are using. Okay, auth, so this is blueprint, and this is, you can see what is this, this is decorator. So you already know what is decorator, right? So we added a register route hour and register method view, so it is extending the method view. Okay, so here arguments, user registration, response, to what response we will send, we send 2001 and user is comma. So when this is done, okay, completed, so it will return the user schema and it will return the, okay. Next, what is the function we are using, post. So what it will do, it will take the user data and it will return the, sorry, it will create the account for that. Okay, so we have registered new user account, so we print, so it will check for duplicate, right? If user.query.filter by email user underscore data email dot first. Okay, so if it is already there, we will get the email already registered, user.query.filter by username, and if we take the same username, we will get the same error. Okay, user equal to username, user's data, and set password, it will convert into the hash. Okay, this set password, if we go to the inside here, user, we have set password. So what it is doing, it is taking password and it is converting into the hash. Okay, and db.session.add user and db.session.commit. So it will add the users and it will return the user, right? So this is our register page. So we will see it will work or not. We are getting any error. Okay, so why it is throwing error? Because by default it will take the get. So I think I should have postman. Yeah, so we'll check in the postman. Okay, so this is register. Next we have login. Same, we are extending this one. So we are checking user schema login. So it will take login and receive JW2 exit plus refresh token. Okay, so it will first take email user query. Okay, so what it is saying, it is saying login receives this one. If it is any error, so it will return the invalid email or password. Okay, so it is saying never say which field is wrong. Like if we say email password is wrong, then if you say password is incorrect, okay, so that will be wrong. So for that, if we are getting any error, for security purpose, we need to say email or password is invalid. Okay, next we have access token. Okay, access underscore token, create access underscore token. Okay, here it will return. Next we have refresh method, so must send refresh token, not access token. Okay, similarly this is slash me, so it will, what it will do, it will get the current authenticated users. Okay, so this is our auth route. Okay, register post. Okay, so for register we will try it will work from here or not. So what we need to send for register, we need to send username, email. Okay, username, admin, email, admin @ gmail.com. Okay, password 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay. Confirm password. Yes. So if I run this, and what error we will get? Not found. Okay. Localhost register host. Okay, sorry. We are calling the only register. We need to add API slash auth also, right? Okay, we are adding prefix slash API slash auth slash. Okay. What we will get now? I think this should work now, but still we are getting any error. Post slash API slash auth slash register. What is the not found? Yeah, I think we are not registered. We just created this one. Okay, give me a second. Yeah, so we'll see what is the issue here. Register. Yeah, this is some typo is there. This register, okay. Still we are getting. So I think I missed something here. So we'll check what is the issue. We created routes, but I think we forgot to add here, right? Yeah, this we need to import this here. Import author dot routes and API dot register underscore blueprint. We run this one. This we need to keep comment because we are not edited this. We only edited register, right? So if we run this one, what error we will get now? Yeah, so now it's working. Now we are getting not valid screen, not a valid screen, because this we need to pass as a valid screen, and this one. Okay. So this is some table related to, so this will fix it. Okay, but we are able to access our route. So now we will continue with routes or okay. So we edited our auth route. Now we'll create the task. Okay, so we'll create this inside the app. So we created our mod database schemas, or now we need to create our task. task. Now inside that we need to create again routes.py, routes.py, and init underscore.py. Okay, init routes. See, this is our task.reroute route. Same thing, like we need to import method we blueprint. So this is our task under PLP. We are passing this task. Okay, same thing, we have prefix slash API and here task. Okay, task management operator. So we have slash this one like home route. Okay, API slash task. When we do API slash task, so it will return the task list. Okay, so how it will get? It will check the, it will get user ID from where JW2 token and okay, status priority page per by default 1 and 10 we have page. Okay, and here we have filter based on the user ID. Okay, so it will return the, you can see task dot created dot description paginated page. Okay, error out false. So here we are having next post. This is for creating the new task. So okay, so it is taking user ID and it will okay and the task data. Here we have task detail. So the route for this we have ID and task ID. Oh, sorry, task ID, this is integer, and here we have a home route this one. Okay, get one task by ID. So it will take user ID. Okay, task ID. So if it is not found, then it will say like access denied, right? We have a put for updating the task, updated task. So here it will get the user ID from this one and task ID from view.session.get task ID. Okay, and we have validation task.user ID and user ID not equals, then it will throw the access denied. Okay, and here update underscore data dot get status complete and not task dot completed. Okay, then it will assign the completed time. Next we have deleted task. So here you can see we have first slash API slash task slash task means this is get API. Okay, so it will return the first get. Okay, this is task our class. Inside that we have get, we have post, we have put. Where is put? This is our get. Yeah, this is put and this is delete. So this get is returning the detail of the task by using the task ID, and this get is we are having for the list. So this is inside task list. Okay, and this is inside the task detail. So this is our task routes. Okay, this is also we register inside the init here. This and we will register this one. Okay, so we added our auth route and we added our task routes. Okay, so now we will go to the next, like we created database connection schema, we created routes for auth and task. Now we will create for web. Okay, so we'll create folder web inside this. Inside that routes.py. Okay, and one more for file. So this is our routes for web. Okay, so first we have login required, this one helper. What it will do, it will check like access underscore token in the session or not. If it is not, it will go to the please login to continue and it will URL for web.login. Okay, next this is our home route here. So it will check if again index access total in session redirect to web.dash. If it is in the session like it is logged in, then it will go to the dashboard, otherwise it will go to the login page. Okay, this is this is we have for login slash login. Okay, methods get. Here we are passing. So the function is taking access token in session. If it is not, still it will dashboard. It will go to the login.html. So when we go to the slash login URL, okay. So if we already logged in, then we don't have to go to the login page again. It will redirect to the dashboard. Otherwise, if user is still login, it will go to the login.html. Okay. We have register.get. So it will check access token, then it will go to the dashboard. This validation we need to put, and if it is not, then it will go to the register.html. Okay. Similarly, we have dashboard. Okay, so it will go to the session.get user. Okay, if user is there, then it will return to the return template dashboard.html. So these template will create. Okay, after this, and we have register HTML, dashboard HTML, and login HTML, and it will return that to the user dot user equals to user. Okay, so before you see here what we are using decorator. Which decorator we are using? Login underscore required. So what it will do, before calling this one, it will check this like it's already logged in or not, if it is this, right? So it will check. If it is not, then it will go to the login, it will show the page login and continue. Next we have logout. So it will clear a session and it will say you have been logged out. Okay, same session dot set, this is post. Okay, so it will set the session setter, okay, called by the JS after login or register. Okay, so this will be called after we login. So what it will do, it will set the access token and refresh token in the session and user detail. Okay, so these are our the web routes. So we have default routes, login, dashboard, and register, right? So this also we need to register inside the, yeah. Okay. So now almost our app is completed. Only like our UI is pending, right? So this is also we need to handle seeding the command, okay, to seed or create the tables inside that. Okay, so we'll uncomment this also. So what it is doing, it's handling for JWT error. Here we are seeding the data. So seed database is test account and sample account. So it is what it will do. It will create the test account, test at the taskflow.com, test user and test password. Okay. So this is like when we create any production level app, when we need any like admin user, default admin user, right? So first time if we go, we don't create any registration page for admin, right? We only create one time. So this is how we create using the CD. Okay, so this we are creating with the REST API title. Okay, so these are the some tasks. Okay, so this is we saved. Now we will start the HTML page. Okay, so we need to add the template share. Okay, so we go to the inside this. So I added templates folder here, and it is having, first we need base HTML. So this is already, you already saw how we can use base HTML. Okay, so this is our base HTML. It's like category and these things storing. So this is like block title. So this is so the task flow, right? And it will block extra CSS and block. Okay, so this we already saw when we saw the Ginger 2 template, right? So with message, get finished message with category true. So the function we are calling, if a category succeeds, then it will show this true icon. Else if category, so it will show this one error. Okay. category var name. So this is our base file. This we need to import in the other files, like we have in dashboard, right? So extend base.html it is. So we have sidebar like TaskFlow, my task. So it will take user.username upper. So it will convert in the upper user.username. Okay. The first letter it will convert the upper letter. So this is our HTML. You can see my task, manage and track your task. So this is HTML. You can go through this one. Okay, this is long file. So you can see this is having around 400 lines of code. Like so this function we are calling load task here. Okay. So we get any error for net. So it will show this toast message: task updated, task created, or success. This one, right? Render task closed. We have login page. So here if you go still extending base.html, we have title login task flow welcome back, sign in to manage your task. So we are asking email here, class form email placeholder. Okay, form group here, placeholder for this is password and this is the button, right? That will go URL for web.register. If don't have account, it will so create one and it will return redirect to the web.register. So if we go to the register page, so this is our register, start managing your task. Okay, so this is how we create, and this is the templates we have. Okay, so this is our task flow page. We see if we anything is pending or not. First I save this file, we'll see we have access of this one or not, or what we will get any error or anything. Yeah, so you can see we have task flow, welcome back, sign in to manage, email, password, sign in. Okay, if I create here, create one, so we will create account page, start managing your task today, this one. If we click on the sign in, so we have to this one. Okay, so if we click here, create one, so if I type here, gmail.com, sorry, here we need to give username, right? So admin at the rate gmail.com. So here we are entering the password. Okay, so here I will open network tab. So we'll see what error we'll get here. So if I click on create account, so we are getting here, right? So what error it will return? So what it is saying? It is saying operation no such table SQL select user.html. So what we did, we created our project, but we are not created any database or anything in the database, right? So we'll start creating for that. So for that we need to run some command. We need to run flask db and it will see what it will do. So it will create database, but we are seeing no such command. Okay. Flask db. This is failing because we are using UV, right? So before that we need to run UV run flask dbnet. Okay. So this is done. Next we need to run flask db migrate name initial migration and UV run. Okay, so you can see we got this folder here, and this is okay. detected edit table user should. Okay, now we need to run run Flask db upgrade. Okay, this is done. So now we will see if we are getting any data or not. So if I run a create again, okay, register is successful. Okay, so now we need to admin @gmail.com 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, so you can see login is also successful. So we came into the dashboard. So you can see my task is this and this one, right? So you saw we already added some data here, right? In the here this, right? This we already add in. So how we are running this one? Say the command sheet data. So this, so if I use this one, will I able to access this? I able to log in or not? Test at the rate task flow. Okay, I will try this one. Sign out, log in. I use this. And what is the password for test 1234? Test 1234. Sign in. So why we are getting invalid email and password? Because we added this inside this like added in the code, but we are not added the command like ctb something like that, cli ctb. So we need to seed this data in the database. Currently we only created the tables, right? Database table. So we create this one. So we need to run for that uv run plus seed db. So this is the only command we write, right? Sheet table. So we enter this one. So you can see it's created this one and we have this login and password. Okay. So we try it again and login. So you can see it's successful. So we already have some task here, right? So you can see this we created, but we don't added any CSS. You can see the style that we are using, it's not there. So we'll add this also. So we added here static. So we'll get the CSS file for this one. Okay. So we run from here and we refresh. So we'll get our CSS. So you can see we have this one, right? So if we try to add any other thing like slash here, so we'll get not found, right? So and if I go here, so we already logged in, so it's redirect to the dashboard. If we come here login and if we register here, so you can see we already have admin, right? And we already have admin @gmail.com. Password we can keep same. So if I click this one, so you can see email already registered, right? And if I change to the one, the username is already taken. So these validation we are already added here, right? And the register. So email already registered when we are getting duplicate email and username already taken. So when the user data username dot first is present in this one. Okay, so you'll share this through this error. So what happened if I go to the sign in, right, and I have this, right, admin @gmail.com, and if I enter password this, so you can see we are showing invalid email or password. So user, if you are like using this one, so you know what is your email, so you know what is the wrong like password, right? If someone is try to guess your email also, right, if they don't know, so they don't have any idea like your email is wrong or password is wrong, right? So this is we use for security purpose, like this error we throw. So this project is completed in the Flask project. So we will continue the series. Okay. So please like and subscribe Amit Dhakad AI. And if you have any doubt, you can ask in the comment section. Click on the bell notification icon for more.